So Benjamin Netanyahu was in serious shape. He's in bad shape now, although he denies it. But it's bad shape in terms of the reputation of Israel, reputation of the government, the dissent within the country, within Israel, even though everybody got behind him yesterday. So he was indicted by the International Criminal Court. There's a potential for an arrest warrant against him, meaning if he goes to a country that is a signatory to the ICC, International Criminal Court, he could theoretically be arrested. Some of those countries include France and Germany, but not England or the US. The three major leaders of Hamas were also issued ICC warrants. So the warrants still need to go before a group of judges to determine whether the actual warrants will be issued. So it's really an application for warrants. The outcry, the response in Israel was huge, including from most of the opposition, as far as I know. I'm not sure at this moment whether there were groups, farther on the left that were supportive of it. I think that definitely a human rights group, a legal human rights group, similar to, let's say, ACLU, did applaud it. Besides Netanyahu, the other person who was indicted or potentially given a warrant was Yoav Gallant, the defense minister. So Israel basically said, both of those guys and others who were supporting him said, the moral equivalency between Israel and Hamas is outrageous. However, the charges against both are similar. The charges against Hamas are a little bit stronger in the sense that in terms of taking hostages and in terms of the issue about potential sexual assault and rape and extreme violence on that day, on October 7th. However, Israel's charged with purposely creating starvation in Gaza, and both of them are charged with what is called extermination. Now, the crimes of genocide and war crimes are actually determined by the International Court of Justice, which is a different organization. And they are having hearings on Thursday and Friday this week. And Representative Israel and South Africa, which is the country that brought the charges, are going to be presenting before that court. However, there's a huge length of time before they would issue anything. However, the importance of it would be its crimes against humanity, crimes of genocide. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Netanyahu has committed on his watch the biggest intelligence and security breach probably in the history of country. The only thing compares with it is the 1973 Yom Kippur War, where Israel was not prepared, and Israel was attacked by Egypt and Syria, and that caused an enormous amount of casualties and also a big political revolution, so to speak. Netanyahu has served 3 times as prime minister. It's the longest serving prime minister. He's also American educated. He has a degree a master's in business from the Sloan School of Management at MIT in Cambridge. He speaks fluent English. He comes across as a strong and forceful and charismatic leader. But his politics are leading Israel right into the gutter, right into the worst of the world, or almost the worst of the world. Aside from the war in Gaza, which has been conducted in an outrageous way, in a way that people probably didn't expect. I thought that they were going to do surgical raids on Hamas, because Israel has a very well-known team of high-level operatives through Mossad and top-level army units that are really capable of doing that and have done that, especially, for example, after the murders of Israeli athletes in Munich in 1972. But they chose not to do that. And so now it's 8 months into the war. There's no plan, there's no strategy of what to do after. This is by far the longest running war in Israel's history, and creating enormous destruction to Gaza, to the point where an expert from The Economist magazine, who I heard interviewed the other day on Terry Gross's show, said that even with the rebuilding of Gaza, even with the peace treaty, even with the support of Western countries and Arab countries, Gaza will not recover. This means that we're going to have a whole generation of traumatized people in Gaza who will probably create the next Hamas or something like it. It's not that Hamas has clean hands by any means at all. Hamas is a militant Islamic extreme organization, apparently funded through Iran, and therefore on the same level as Hezbollah and even Al-Qaeda and other groups in Lebanon. Israel, obviously, everyone agreed, had a right to defend itself. It was, of course, recognized that defending would mean some form of revenge. However, Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense in the U.S., had warned Israel right away not to do what the U.S. did after 9/11. Because Lloyd Austin had been in the military, top-level guy, in the invasion of Iraq, and knew that the outcome of that was really indefensible, that it was really a war of revenge. And he warned Israel to not do it, but clearly they are.